Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another TF Live TV cast. We're going back for some more ozfortress Season 28 High Division this time. We're going to be watching Saharan Spies versus White Noise. I'm Michael. I'm joined tonight by Cole. How you going, Cole?
Oh, really good, thank you. I've got a long weekend coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. But guys, get your leaves in chat. It is the High Division. I think this match is going to be a blazing success.
I mean, I would hope so, considering we do have two of the top four teams in High this season, at least when it comes to the seeds. White Noise seeding first this season, Saharan Spies, from memory, I think they were fourth. So we should have a nice high game of TF2 in every sense of that phrase that you can draw from it. And we've got some great maps that we're going through. We're starting off on Logjam, which might be a map that some people haven't seen, and then the second map is going to be Gully Wash. So crowd favorite there in Australian TF2, the good old Gully.
Yeah, I'm expecting Logjam to honestly be a bit of an interesting experience for both teams, because there's no way that these teams are going to have anywhere near as much experience on Logjam as compared to the Gully Wash map. But we'll see what happens. I'm expecting people to get behind all the time and interesting stuff to happen. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is the first official for both teams on the new Logjam. I think this is the first week it's been played, or the only week it's been played. So I know that they've both been scrimming it a bit. I know both teams over the past few nights have actually been scrimming it quite a lot. So they'll be familiar with the map. But in an official, you've always got that different... there's just a difference between the scrims and the officials, especially in the lower divs where you might have teams kind of try things more in scrims and maybe not take scrims as seriously as the officials. So I'm interested to see what both teams have come up with for this game. Speaking of both teams, we should let everyone know who's here.
That's right. So for Team White Noise, we've got T3 and Matt as the scouts. We've got Hawk as our roaming soldier. Tesla as the pocket soldier. Adolo, our good friend, is the demo man. And Alabaster, the medic.
Yeah, and on the side of Saharan Spies, we're going to have Fez and Ino on scouts, Sean on the roaming soldier, KL on the pocket soldier, Crybaby, or we may call him Hipster a few times, on the demo man, and MG on the medic. Honestly, if you ran most of these players' names by me at the start of the season and said, what division will these guys play in, Prem or High? For a lot of the players in this server, I would say Prem. We have two very experienced teams here for, the top half of High. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen, especially with I think we could even see a bit of a clash in terms of where the more experienced players are between the teams, with I'd say Sean and MG being the more experienced players on Saharan Spies compared to Matt and then probably a Dolo in terms of recent experience for White Noise. Kind of a massive shift there with the medic and roamer for Saharan Spies and the one of the scouts and then the demo man. I think we might see a massive difference in the way these two teams play if they want to play around their experience, which might be a wise choice.
Yeah, I'm expecting that, since Adola is relatively new to Demo Man, trying something different this season, and Matt is relatively new to Scout, they're still going to be able to main call and be able to tell people what to be doing. I don't think the reason that they're in High is because they're evidently not going to be as skilled as they were on their core classes in Prem. And that's going to make a massive difference. And you've got a couple of players like Red Hawk and T3 who are coming into this and were missing a bit of experience and haven't played for either a long time or they're, relatively new, I'd say outmatched by people in the Prem division. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I know a little bit about the Saharan Spies team. I do know that MG and Sean kind of combined to be the main calling voice, MG being the kind of main voice of the combo and Sean pitching in where he can from the flank. That's what I've heard from people I know around that team. So it creates for a really just strong mesh, and that's something that I think both teams have in common, is that the like, neither of these teams rely on the individual playstyles as the other two top 4 teams in High, at least what I consider the other two top 4 teams being Brain Cells and Cheese Wheel. Those two teams are more individualistic playstyles, going to be going in relying on the, 1-2 players to turn fights for them entirely. Whereas these two teams, while their players have the ability to do that, they work together as a unit really well, and if they're forced into those situations where they need to make an individual play, it's almost like a failing of what their original plan is. They want to be taking these 6v6 and winning very cleanly as a team. So that's honestly the main thing I'm most excited for tonight, is just some brutal team fights.
Yeah, so like the coordination is probably going to be really good from both teams, and it's going to be really interesting to see Matt and what he's going to be doing. Is because I'm pretty sure he's playing. Is he playing roaming scout or pocket scout? Do we know?
I want to say he's on combo scout. I'll double check that right now.
Yeah, because like the reason I say that is Matt is an incredibly experienced roaming soldier, so he's very used to just working on the flank with his partner scout. So as a flank scout, he'd probably be quite good at adopting that role and understanding how to play it very well. So
okay, I've just pulled up. It looks like their scouts are pretty interchangeable.
And they're live. Let's go on to the T3 cam, guys. I think I'd like to see a scout for this middle, so this will be interesting. Yeah. So both teams are doing fairly stock standard rollout, and I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, definitely. Adolo getting a bit up on the health as Crybaby hits a very nice sticky, forces him back, and will meet up with his medic. Scouts coming in onto the mid now, looking to take advantage of the high ground. And actually, we've got a really aggressive bomb from Sean in here, as MG's been left alone. He will die to Adolo, and we've got really even players here until just now, where the remainder of White Noise will clean it up. Pretty much everyone on Saharan Spies, they're dying at the same time, but Alabaster does die, so it won't be a clean round for White Noise. In fact, they may even have issues getting second, as T3, he's going into last to try and pick up something onto MG.
Yeah, but he's got... So Medic died in middle, didn't he? So Alabaster did fall? Yeah, so I'm interested to see like if T3's going to go behind do a back cap, or whether he's going to go and try to get a med pick. He's seen everybody's like, here he goes. They're still on the cam. I love this. Let's go on to T3 cam. Here he comes up behind him. What's he going to do? What's he doing? And... winging onto the point, going for MG, and he gets the medic pick.
Oh, man.
That's, guys, okay. I knew I'd pick the right person.
Definitely did, and that's huge. That's going to end up being like 80% at least advantage. White Noise probably have this second point to right, and we're going to probably see a double soldier sat come out here to try and deny... well, maybe not deny the push, but at least force that Uber if White Noise are going to take it. They're coming up on the Uber now. MG... oh no, okay, so Ino decided to come up on Engineer. They've ended up full Uber disadvantage. MG just getting it now. They might have been able to have it a little sooner. Sean goes in for the sack. He gets mulched.
Yeah, so like in that situation, it's really important for you to not lose players, and they knew that they were going to hold last and only accept one soldier death at that point. So because like slight player advantages is enough to like really tip a game. So, and it looks like we've got a Pyro and an Engineer on the last point for defense. Uber's come through on the right hand side. We've got Tesla who's a bit locked out. Pyro's doing a lot of work pushing people back. And it doesn't look like they're even getting any ground. Damage hasn't been done. Oh, Demo's taken down by Tesla. Looks like he's trying to get some spam rockets up into the top left. I'd mind the point. And everyone's on Roy Cappin. There we go. First round down.
Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate that Hipster got knocked down into the low ground. He just got disconnected from the beam. MG had to back up into spawn, rotate around, and ate a lot of damage. Ended up falling right before the point got lost. And if you don't have health, you're not winning TF2. As speaking of health, both demo men are actually rather short on it for what you'd expect on this mid, but neither of them trading damage just yet. Hipster trying to get quite far across the point will end up not hitting anything onto a Dolo. Both demos will get healed as we do have the bombs coming through. Hawk will find a good amount of damage onto Sean, who'll go into the sky. Both soldiers and the demo will combine onto the medic. Alabaster will go down, but the rest of Saharan Spies will fall. And again, I mean, both medics die, which is good in the grand scheme of things for Saharan Spies, but that was an even more convincing mid for White Noise. They're going to easily be able to get second off of this if they want it.
Well, I figured there's like two things that can happen, like, situations. There's either people fall out or they completely commit to dying in the middle, right? And both medics are dead, so it's fine to take a deathmatch in a situation if everybody agrees that dying is the thing to do, right? So the good thing is everyone got up at exactly the same time and are ready to contest second now. So whereas if you had people going and getting picked one off at a time, they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing now. And speaking of which, seconds taken. They killed 4 people and it's only the medic and scout at mid.
Yeah, I think that came down to one giant blunder from White Noise, is that they had... So Matt was waiting in mid for Alabaster to spawn, thinking they just had that second cap down, as we do see a pause coming out. But yeah, so Matt was waiting in mid. Alabaster got forward spawn to the second forward spawn, but then the second cap wasn't happening, so Matt had to leave the fight. They were 2 players down, including a medic on White Noise, so they just had to back, and I think they overcommitted a bit too hard there. They had too many players on Saharan Spies side of the point towards that lobby area, and they just got picked off and damaged way too easily. Like, they lost all 4 players in that point, which shouldn't be happening. 1 or 2 I'd be okay with, but all 4 is not great.
The logjam second point is like quite a difficult point to capture, because to get to the point you have to put yourself into like a low ground position as a scout. It's really hard to get to the point, and it's incredibly easy to spam it as well. You've even got the little like ledge off the right where you can jump up on that to get high ground, or to just shoot it for some spam damage. So like it totally makes sense if everyone's trying to get on the point that it's taken heaps and heaps of damage, it's unnecessary. Clumping is just it's hard. It's really hard to not clump when you want to capture the point, right? So
yeah, definitely. I think if they had maybe played, like, they could have played someone back on their own battlements, maybe, kind of below where Alabaster is right now, as he is building up the Uber. I can't see the Ubers. It should be relatively even from memory. But we do have the push coming in right now. I know will die. MG will have to surf around a bit. He'll die actually with 95% Uber. Man, and this is just a total butched push. Butched, botched, whatever the word is. Sean will come in for the sack. Really nice surf from Alabaster though, to deny that.
Yeah, so that kind of situation is like it's the right thing to do, to be getting really like fast to just try to push the Uber advantage, but you've got to make sure you don't die before you get it, right? And it's when you're playing at that kind of speed, like, and getting forced, and Hawk, stays alive. All right, lucky Hawk. So, but yeah, like I was saying, it's really hard when you want to push and take advantage of that Uber advantage, but at the same time, you've got to just make sure you get it. So there's a balance to the speed.
Yeah, I think they could have maybe looked at pushing choke there. Instead, they put themselves in a real low ground position where MG didn't have a lot of opportunities. And speaking of opportunities, this is going to be White Noises for a second round. Completely unspotted. They're really deep into right here, and T3 is going to lead this Uber in. $1 right behind him. Saharan have the Pyro up again, but it's not going to be in a good position. The Heavy will die as well. Matt's playing the point. He will die, but that's pretty much the entire cap. And that's actually where we saw the pause coming in right there before White Noise claimed their second round. Seems like Saharan had someone drop out, but I think they were already dead, so it's not going to be too much of a difference. As White Noise goes 2 up in a pretty commanding start to this game.
Yeah, we'll see how to go this middle. Let's get on to one of the Saharan Spies players. Let's look at Fez and see how he goes.
As we've actually had Hipster, he's been playing these mids really well, getting $1 so low. If it wasn't for the arrow, he would have been in a really spotty position. You've got KL coming in really high, Sean landing on Alabaster, getting the kill early, and God, Crybaby coming in great pipes to pick up 2 kills, and you're going to see the rest of the Saharan Spies boat scout flying around their medic, little insects they are. They will clean up and claim their first mid for the map for Saharan Spies. They'll be happy with that. That was really convincing goal.
Yeah, that was like especially well played by Fez. Got a lot of pressure just by using that W key incredibly well, getting really close to the other demo and getting that damage in really fast. So, and then afterwards coming back to your medic, getting the overheals and then protecting him when you got the Uber advantage. A lot of scouts played too aggressive and want to chase frags, but Fez made sure that he came back, protected the Uber advantage, and protected his medic.
For sure. As we are going to see Saharan Spies, they Okay, you've just got MG rotating to his flank, give them a little bit of heals, but this Uber is going to be coming in through the right side for Saharan Spies, leaning in on the demo man. They'll pop through the door to avoid the risk of any sticks, but there were none. You're going to see Matt up on the heavy, but because everyone on White Noise is in spawn, there's not going to be a lot of presence on the point to start off with, but because of how deep they play, they've actually ended up not getting anything with that Uber. A few picks will go their way. MG will look to leave. Actually, Sean... Oh, no, Sean could have gone for the back cap. There was only one player there, being Tesla, who was so low. But that play has brought back pretty much all of White Noise. They'll still get second, but it'll be delayed.
What I really love there is the fact that he used both a sentry gun and a heavy, and they're on the complete opposite ends of the point. And that's like really, that's so good because you have to take out both of those with the Uber, and it's really difficult to do if they're nowhere near each other. And if you're, otherwise you're just going to waste the Uber charge and have some kind of insurmountable object to have to push against. So, like, really smart play from White Noise there as they push into the middle.
Yeah, taking mid, doesn't look like there's any sack attempt. KL tried to go for something on the flank, but he died beforehand, so they don't want to lose two players and not get any soldier pressure in on the second point. It's actually White Noise, they just get the deny on the forward spawn for KL. Sean will have to wrap back around to give himself a shot for this play. And he'll try something, get absolutely destroyed, Sean. Tesla, really nice rocket there. But Sean has bought his team enough time for the full Uber. Gonna see T3 leading this one in, but maybe he hasn't realized that Saharan Spies have an Uber of their own. He'll play the point, get a good amount of time onto it. But Saharan Spies, they're able to flash this a lot between three players. Fez getting the beef of it, most of it. As you're going to see most of White Noise fall around the point here. A lot of damage coming out from Sean. Alabaster falling as he goes for a saw. But again, White Noise, there's so much pressure on this point here. They've forced Saharan Spies into a really good position. Tesla will get 2 for 1 as they'll clean up a third round. Man.
Yeah, that was a really, really good, like, last push. Although, I can't say I necessarily agree with having to just, like, kind of, you know, juice the Uber and not use it for a very long time when you got player advantage. It's basically giving the other team an opportunity to have people come back, right? So, I think it would have been better to just Uber a bit earlier and just try to bait the point faster and get fragging, but that's just me. Anyway, looks like middle's going, both demos are getting at it. The Dollar's getting a few sticks on J and Dill on the other side. Both soldiers bombing onto our demo right now. Our Dollar getting absolutely destroyed. It looks like the scouts are trying to take ground on the point. Got both soldiers kind of get around. It's an absolute, like, what's happening on this middle point here? Hey, and MG surfing his way around Choke, and he's getting flanked by T3. Tesla's just having a few more rockets around, and it looks like a wipe.
Yeah, it'll be all of Saharan Spies going down. Again, they do get Alabaster. He's getting focused really well by Saharan Spies on these mids. It's just the rest of the mids that isn't quite coming through for them. MG was in a really good spot. As you mentioned, he surfed up onto the bit of high ground. And just quickly, Sean will die to the double scouts coming into second. He'll be on that 18-second respawn, but with neither medic coming up on Ube in that time, he should have enough time to help his team with the defense. Although I say that, Alabaster's building this pretty quickly with a dollar on the rollout. They'll get this Uber pretty much at the same time Sean comes up.
It's a crits creek, man. It's a crits creek. Let's see how it goes. The dollar going to go main door to crits. There you go. This is really good because they know that it's even Uber, so using a crits in this situation is incredible. Here we go. And there's a stick. Boom. And nope, didn't get the medic. And there we go. Spammed out. Unfortunate for Alabaster. I feel like he should be killing himself, and yep, there he is. He passes away. Rest in peace, poor Alabaster.
I really like the idea, right? I think especially if we were looking at the second map right now on Gully Wash, it's a map where you can really easily get away with the crits play because it's just so open the last point is. No matter what door you go through, you can see pretty much the entire last. But on a map like Logjam, there's so many obstacles in the way. And it's netted MG a 100% Uber advantage. You've got the sniper on Matt coming up and choke, but with a demo and soldier down, he's pretty much the only player that can stay in, which means he won't, because he'll just get picked off by one bombing soldier. And unless he hits the, you know, a really nice shot there, he's not doing anything. He'll sit far back in second, but he'll get spotted immediately. MG, he knows this game. He's not coming into second until that sniper is in the spawn. Which he practically is. He may have had a shot onto MG if he went a bit further forward, but MG positioning himself well, hiding from the sightlines. They're going to look to push this last point, but from where?
See, I think it was interesting that they Oh, what was I going to say? Anyway, so it looks like we've got a heavy just setting up at last point, and there we go, out to the right side there, and everyone trying to go for the sentry gun. It gets taken down. See what I mean by the heavy? It's been so effective on the opposite side, and wow, absolutely wiped. There's only 3 players up, so Matt swapping back to scout and get ready to go out again. So, like, that's just shows how important it is to just, like, you know, try to divert the enemy's attention between 2 really high priority targets so that they can't do anything. And stacking the cap to prevent the respawn is really well done. So because those 3 people got delayed back further, so they can't even defend middle now as they make their way in.
Yeah, Hipster's just coming up. He's actually beaten a fair few White Noise players into mid, but he'll get caught in the box a little bit. KL will die. Hawk will as well, though, trading soldiers. But because of the damage that's come onto MG, he doesn't have a pack nearby. They will fall back, as they do actually have essentially even Ubers here. There's single-digit % in it, so we'll call it even. But White Noise, they might fall into a bit of a trap here. You've got players coming in high. It's an even fight here. And as we mentioned before, that second point, it's so difficult to hold, or to take, rather. Very easy to hold. Tesla will fall. Alabaster will get forced into a terrible position after MG. But MG's going to end up getting the worst post-Uber fight. He'll die. Alabaster surfing away, but Hipster in a really good spot will get a lot of damage onto him. Alabaster, he's bobbing, he's weaving, he's not taking a lot of damage here. He'll fall back into the house. Stray rockets will come through, deal a little bit of damage. Ino is there. He'll actually get sword. Fez coming through as well. I think Fez ate an arrow from Alabaster there. T3 cleaning up the other 2 players going for him. Alabaster, great plays there to stay alive. He was in a really terrible position.
I think it was like really well played by Matt as well, watching it, because I was watching his perspective the whole time. He was just making sure he stayed out of all the fights what he could, and getting in, basically coming in later to just like mop up people from another direction. So the fire was split between 2 directions. So well played to Matt there, and that's what I said about the roaming and soldier experience coming in as a like flank scout. You know, not to take dumb duels for no reason. As it looks like they're making their way to come straight to last from underleaf bottom left. There we go, straight into the last point. Looks like they're trying to focus the heavy, but there's no time for the sentry to be placed up. Medic's getting like smashed on the top right, and oh, there we go, another pipe. So MG's on 2 health, and it looks like they're cleaning this up. There we go. Oh, this is a lot faster than I wanted it to be, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Saharan Spies, on paper, they should be putting up a really good fight here. But there's obviously some intangible that's happening in the game. It could possibly be the pace that White Noise have been bringing to this. And speaking of pace, both demo men really fast on the mid, hitting the stickies all the way in. But Adolo, both putting out a lot of damage onto each other. They'll end up falling back. And it looks like we're going to have both soldiers of Saharan Spies. Look at making the bomb across. Sean will face plant onto a plank of wood. Come in later though. Tesla will go down. MG will be found alone by Hawk. But surf the rocket away really nice. Alabaster still hasn't fallen, neither is MG, but MG's very low. He can't find any of his players. He'll find Fez. There's a pack up for him if he wants it, but he's not opting to get it. We've got the double scout duel now. MG very low. They could focus the medic here, but Torn Fire from White Noise is going to net them a situation where they lose the scout, but they get the Uber first. Oh, MG, he'll get it. And that will be the end of the mid. I don't think Alabaster dies if KL doesn't hit the Speedy Boy rollout. And that's one of the longest mids I've seen in a while.
That's it. Looks like I love when middles end up in an ulti trio fight with 2 scouts and the medics. Who do I heal? Who do I overbuff? What's going on? Who do I shoot? So, a very fun situation there.
You put in the brutal decision as a medic to just heal the better player, and then your players find out what you think.
Oh no. They make their way around choke with the Uber. So it's like, look, soldier and demo, but then this is not an effective Uber. They're going back trying to deal with Hawk, and they've just decided, you know what? This is not working, so like, are they going to make their way in? They know there's a sniper there. MG's playing very sensibly, playing it slow, and yeah, it looks like, you know what I was saying about that balcony position, it's coming in and making it really hard for them to actually push in. Sean's getting some rockets off on Alabaster, and good surf away from Alabaster. Jane Doe trying to stay alive. It's only MG and a scout up, and wow, Matt gets the headshot. You know,
I think that's the first headshot he hit all game. What a shot to hit. Close range on the med. Not too bad. You've got Fez. Oh, Fez will get into a really good spot. He actually gets the force off. That's huge. Like the Uber will fade pretty much as MG spawns. We'll be seeing even Ubers here. Like Alabaster, he didn't need to pop, but I definitely understand why he did. Having that scout close range, the second shot hit for 10, and he would have died in time. Alabaster actually dies. I missed that. Maud on the sniper from the low corner. He'll get that shot going in, and What, Matt still on snipe. Sean will get a kill onto T3 and will trade with Tesla. Hawk, really nice. His impact with this game has been huge with the plays on the MG, but this time his fancy footwork will get the better of Hawk, as the Saharan Spies will take it back into mid.
I find it like both teams are running snipers is very interesting. It reminds me of the old Yukon days pretty much. So like because the map is incredibly open from like second, you've got a lot of opportunities to shoot people, and like especially if you're holding from the balcony in the bottom right area, you can like cover all the choke in the right as a sniper, and that's a good play and it's something I like seeing. And that's also one of the reasons people don't play Yukon anymore, because like screw sightlines like that, you know? So...
Yeah. I think it's really interesting here because both teams still have snipers, but Saharan Spies want to be making this uber advantage push. You'll see KL and Hawk trade in the right door. Alabaster actually goes down to a full charge body shot again from Ino. And Matt's not in a position to take this shot. His team will help him get there, but they're not going to be seen. Even like it was pretty much full ad before. They'll have a second shot at the full ad push, but this time straight into last. But I don't know if they'll do it because of the sniper.
Are we going to see the legendary sniper Uber out the right, top right, to headshot
yes.
the medic? I think, is it coming, guys? Is it really happening?
Maybe not. With Sean going down, I don't think they'll opt for that play. You'll have all of the players of White Noise are just in this right side, and that's something that they've been doing that it's a little bit frustrating to watch. They'll put all 5 or 6 players in the same position, like right now for the last push. And actually, because of it, MG gets forced again. He's a bit aggressive there. And they get nothing with this Uber. They don't even get the heavy. He swaps off because there's absolutely nothing to do in that Uber for him. You'll have Hipster go down, Hawk will trade, but that's 3 more players down. Fez will sacrifice himself. As MG, he's long gone, but he could get caught here. Tesla's in the area. Oh, massive sticky jump from Adolo. He's going to land right onto it. That was insane. He went from the shutter door all the way to choke. With an air stick. Oh,
Yep, that's a really skilled play to being able to do that. So you got to practice those, jump maps to try and do that kind of fun stuff, guys. So, but yeah, that whole last push, that's exactly what I was saying about like the sentry gun's positioned in a way where it's impossible to shoot hits and the heavy, and that makes it really hard to make a choice. So people are just getting cleaned up by the sentry gun, couldn't come in at last, and because everyone's focusing the heavy, but then they didn't even kill the heavy. So it's a bit of a misplay. As it looks like Sean tries to sack onto poor Alabaster here, and the point's starting to get capped. So I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a 5-0, man. It's a bit rough.
Yeah, it is, but they're put in a tough spot because the soldier capping it is really slow, but they've only got 1 scout, Matt dying, so they either need to, they either had to push before the last was capped, which you never really want to do just in case, because that point presence is really good during the Uber, but it's gonna let Saharan Spies get it, and MG's kiting this quite well. Half of the White Noise Uber goes down before anything happens. Trade will happen, scout for the soldier of Red Hawk, but the rest of White Noise is crumbling. Matt's, he's coming in through the lower area. Oh no, don't tell me. Okay, Sean, he's coming back. He's being the good boy. He'll meet Matt immediately. Trade with him, that's fine. You don't have to live there. Sean just got the kill, and that's all that matters, because if he died and Matt lived, that's the game, because everyone's on second.
Like, 2 really important things there was that 1, Alabaster didn't plan his exit a lot earlier, so he couldn't actually escape when the demo was bouncing him, and that meant that he died when he didn't necessarily need to. But secondly, it was a really good play by Saharan Spies to actually go and check every exit on the way out, and they were about to forget one, but yeah, as we see, MG getting taken down by a bombing soldier on middle, Tesla going down, Hawk's dying, and KL's getting taken down by Matt as well. Looks like it got the double, there we go, ulti trio is happening. Jane Doe going in and trying to get some shots off. The medic's on 10 health. Will Alabaster live? And no, Ino has done his job. He has killed the medic. So we've got some uber advantage for the Saharan Spies.
I can't sing Crybaby's praises enough. He did so much in that mid-fight. He had an air sticky that caused the Dolo to crater right at the beginning. Meanwhile, we do actually have Matt. He's in. Fez isn't hitting the shots. KO will come through, try and get something. The pistol of Fez should clean him up at will. Sketchy there for MG, but he'll end up living. But as I was saying, just Crybaby, there's so much pressure put out, so much damage. Sean goes down on the flank, and I think they've got the super advantage, 20%. They can make their way into mid. They'll take the scout advantage, as actually they end up with the soldier advantage as well. Both soldiers going down right as Matt spawned. But with Crybaby going down, MG's found himself no heal target. Alabaster will get out while there's a lot of spam coming out from Ino. The scouts will eat a bit of damage as well and need to go back. As mid will come up, no spawns denied, and we'll see Crybaby waiting for his forward spawn. Saharan Spies, they need to get moving. There's 7 minutes 40 left and they're down 4. It's not impossible for them to come back here and win it. They're opting for this Valley push again, and MG drops. He dies on the...
It's a big rip there, so it looks like they're just having everybody like go and just suicide with the medics, so they will come up at the same time. But that's really unfortunate, and I think that's going to be like, you know, nail in the coffin for this game. When you're at a, you know, deficit of 4 points and it takes about 2.5 minutes to secure a round on Logjam, it's going to be hard to come back, guys. So I feel like this is well and truly won the first map for White Noise here. So
yeah, I mean. Technically, I think technically it might still be just possible, but in terms of realistically, it's not going to happen. You know, at any point, if White Noise loses 3 rounds in the next 4 minutes or 5 minutes, they have that option to just turtle on second and build. So I don't think they'll let themselves lose this game. So yeah, it's going to be dead time. You're going to see people at this point just kind of, they'll try for the rounds, right? Saharan Spies, they might try and build a bit of that momentum, maybe get a round or 2 here, just to get themselves ready for Gully.
Yeah, that's it. You want to practice. You want to practice your teamwork and coordination while you can. You know, make it an opportunity to just get back into the game and do better in the next map as they make their way to Uber advantage into middle. So Jane-Do going in, and so is Fez, nearly getting dropped. That's really unfortunate. And bam, Alabaster has Uber. So is Fez and the medic and coming back to second, but T3's chasing. He's hungry and he wants some medic. Gets the kill. Soldier, looks like Fez is around the corner trying to get a pick off. The 2 soldiers really hurt Adolo trying to hit a pipe, and he gets taken down too. So it looks like 6 down for Saharan Spies, and people are rolling all the way to the last. So I think that this is go 5-0, man. Engineers getting set up finally.
Yeah, it'll go up on the high ground. 1 rocket will take it down. KL playing the high ground with the point eats a lot of damage from Adolo there. But you've got T3 playing the point. He'll get a kill onto KL. Got the Pyro coming down. Really nice reflected kill onto Hawk. T3 will finally fall. Adolo reloading some pipes on the low ground, looking to get some spam. I think he did hit a pipe onto Ino there, getting him quite low. But Saharan Spies, they'll have the defense for now. But take a look at another 15 seconds when this White Noise Uber comes through. They will probably look to push this to end the game. They don't want to sit around for 5 minutes. They want to get into the next map. They want to continue this hot streak that they're on.
That's it. It looks like Sean's going to go make a spy play. I think it's a little late. If he did it earlier, it would have been good, but they're going to Uber before he's able to do it. And there he goes. Spy gets taken out straight away, so it wasn't even very effective. So Uber's been pushed out, goes straight to the right point. Everybody can absolutely frag. So much spam damage going on. Matt getting a pick, and 6 down. That's the end of the first map.
Yeah, I think it's... Saharan Spies, they had some... They played... some parts of that game really well. I think Alabaster did end up dying on every single mid, which is massive, right? The fact that he dies on every single mid is, it shows that, not White Noise, Saharan Spies, they knew what they were doing on those mids, right? And he was dying first most of the times, I believe. So they were doing something right. It's just that once the med died, Saharan Spies fell apart a little bit. MG, I saw him a lot, was just getting caught in no man's land, no one around him to protect him. And I think that, that does kind of show the 15 deaths. He was dying a lot in that game, and I think a lot of those deaths were preventable by the rest of his team just playing in the right spot.
Yeah, I think that there's some really critical call-outs I gotta say. One is the fact that I think that the Saharan Spies actually never opted to use utilities correctly at last point, and that just really, really made it hard to defend, where they were winning middle a fair bit and then pushing the last and then getting absolutely smashed by White Noise because of the fact that the heavy and the sentry gun are completely unreachable on opposite sides of the point, right? So there's got to be a way to play that more effectively, but pushing top right into the heavy and killing him and then leaving the sentry gun, it didn't seem to work at any point, right? So
Yeah, and like even looking at the logs right now, the thing that really stands out to me when it comes to those last defenses, right? On the side of Saharan Spies for the off classes, you've got Ino and Fez both going between the heavy and the pyro. You know, whoever spawns at a certain time, I guess, goes up on one. They don't really have a plan when it comes to that. White Noise, on the other hand, the only off-class T3 had was Engineer. The only off-class Matt had was Heavy, apart from the Sniper, but that was, you know, that's not a last defense thing. He was making that the aggressive play. But their last defense off classes, were just set in stone. They have that plan. They know where they're going to play, when they're going to do it. Doesn't matter on the spawn waves. You're going to have people playing the position that they're comfortable in. And in the positions that they know how to play. Sometimes you'll see teams have like an engineer off class for certain maps, and then they'll swap it for other maps. Just depending on kind of how much experience the people have on the map or what off classes you need. It seems like White Noise had a plan for those last defenses. So in the situations where they were kind of, you know, against a tough spot with, you know, several full Uber advantage last push situations that Saharan Spies had, leading to nothing because of that sentry gun.
Another thing I'd like to point out is actually the heal statistics of both teams. You'll see that KL actually got the vast majority of the heals, and the demo is a little bit left alone. I'm not sure if he's the best player in the team, and they've centralized around having a pocket soldier strategy, but it didn't seem like that was the case when I was like viewing the match. So whereas you look at White Noise, and they've just got like the kind of stock standard where both soldiers are little bitches who just get ignored most of the game, and the demo and the two scouts get everything right. So, and I think that the reason that the meta did shift in that direction is because it is more effective. So,
yeah, and I mean, you look at it, KL he ended up taking the most heals in the game, just coming out over $1 on the other side, and I mean, his stats aren't brilliant for it. 9 to 21, least kills of all the DM classes. Most deaths aside from Sean on his own team. 230 DPM, so second highest on his team, but still 90 DPM behind Crybaby. He put up really good numbers considering his team did get rolled.
Yeah, and that's what I want to point out. Is statistics, you have to look at them contextualized. In a situation, look at them in a vacuum. It's not great. And his team did get like absolutely smashed. So that's probably reflective. Like if they play a pocket soldier strategy and it's a lot more even, then I'd expect it to be a very different, kind of thing. But because they got rolled, then soldiers are going to obviously do a lot worse and die a lot more and get a lot less picks because they don't have the Ubers to fall back on. They're always defending last. And another thing to look at the stats is the amount of time played on the utility classes. You'll see that there's about 2.5 minutes of engineer and 2.5 minutes of heavy, right? And they only had like 2 defenses for White Noise, whereas it was only like 20 seconds of heavy, and there was no engineer played at all, and 10 seconds of spy. So there's just they're just not even taking advantage of the utility classes. They're most effective on those last points. I mean, it was interesting seeing the snipers, but like everyone loves seeing snipers shoot stuff, right? It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, as a player, you love it as well. Just like, oh yes, I get to play the point and shooty Australia, man. Time to get in a frag movie, mum. Watch
Activate
out.
charge now, doctor.
Oh yeah.
Now,
but I mean, yeah, like both players on Saharan Spies, like for the scouts, not even totaling a minute of off-classing each. Outside of the sniper. Like the last defense off-classes, like 20 seconds apiece, 30 seconds apiece. It's not great, and considering, Saharan Spies had way more last defenses than White Noise, they should have like more time on those off classes. So I'm scratching my head at that one, Cole. I'm not too sure.
It's alright because people are comfortable playing the classes that they know very well, and if you're very comfortable playing Scout and Soldier, you want to kind of stick to that. But if it's more effective to choose the other classes, then you need to do that. You need to just bite the bullet and just accept that heavy is the right thing to do. Even if you do nothing and you can't hit any shots as a heavy, you've got 450 hit points. Just stand there.
Yeah. And with a medic like him, he'll hit his arrow. Your actual HP is 450, but then you get the very balanced Russian man who has an effective HP of like 700, 800 after you hit a few arrows, and that's where you really get into the territory of please don't ban the crossbow. It's great.
Anyway, let's move on to some Gullywash things. What I'm kind of expecting to see is just a lot more refined play from Saharan Spies, all right? Because this is a competitive map that's been around a very long time. I'm expecting it to be well versed in how to play this properly and to just be very, practiced on it, right? And the other thing is, I don't think the utility strategy is going to matter anywhere near as much on this point because the sentry gun doesn't have good line of sight to the point, and the heavy weapons guy is a lot more accessible in this on this map, and he can't just walk back into the freaking spawn without just being useless. So, whereas all of those things are problems on long jam. So,
yeah, I think also this map, it's a lot better for Crybaby. Like he did well on log jam. But I know playing with and against him, he loves Gully. Gully is this man's bread and butter.
Alright, if it is, let's get on his perspective.
Oh, I want to see it. First mid, I'm expecting big things, or he'll get triple bombed and die immediately because we're watching him. And watch it. Adolo's going to fly through the sky right as we do have the mid starting. A bit of spam will go on to Crybaby at the beginning. Hawk playing under the point. Gonna look to, maybe sync something up with his team, getting on the right-hand side. The first bomb comes in from Tesla. A lot of damage coming in as, that is going to be a complete crumble. The scouts going huge there to clean up on the damage done by the big boys, as that's going to be a very convincing mid. But again, Alabaster dies. So, not all hope is lost, as I think that's still every single mid.
I think is it Saharan Spies or Saharan Assassinate Alabaster? Like I don't know. Like just keep killing the medic. It works. It's fine. This is not what I'd be expecting from a high team to just like lose every player to just take the enemy med. I'd be expecting that out of an inter or an open team, right? So they're just crumbling. Maybe they're tilted from losing so heavily, but as it looks like it looked big. No.
Stop. T3. Did he just hide and seek? I was watching second because I didn't think anything would happen. Just sitting in secret, and everyone went right past. Well, look, hey, run two of the mids. Maybe Alabaster won't die this time. He's 6 for 6. Adolo and Hipster both coming at the mid at the same time, and Adolo doesn't even care about Hipster. Both Demomen putting spam on the big door. Will hit about 40 damage onto the medic. MG getting a bit more spam put onto him, but Hawk is the first casualty of the mid, actually by Sean. Kel putting himself high in the sky to get cleaned up by a scout. Matt, very, very low. We'll find a small health kit. Tesla, though, big bomb onto MG. We'll get the kill. Alabaster will survive a mid. Rejoice, White Noise fan. But you lose the mid anyway.
This is fantastic. I'm so happy that Alabaster is... Oh, is he really winning? Oh, here we... Okay. Fez gets taken down by T3. Alright,
wait, so... You got the demo spam? Okay, he's safe.
So I guess what really needs to happen for Saharan Spies is that they need to not kill Alabaster, and then they'll win middle, right? There we go.
Yeah, I mean, but then they need to keep MG alive. At this point, they won mid, but with T3 wanting through, he actually doesn't have the med on him. If he's not careful, he'll die. Wow, T3 is incredibly lucky that if Saharan Spies had just stuck around a bit more at show, they would have been able to kill that play and completely ruin the push. But now, second is going to be had for pretty much free. KL's really high onto Alabaster. Alabaster lags into the 4th dimension and totally just ruins KL's bomb. If Alabaster isn't lagging there, I'm pretty sure he forces. But he was so delayed he didn't realize he went down to 30 health with a soldier right in front of him.
Even better, he's got balls of steel, so you know what? He's used to people jumping him at this point. He'll live this time. This is the time. And as they're taking it up river, and here we go, T3's shooting the sticks off. Are they looking for a sentry gun and seeing what's around? And no, it looks like they're going for a sack. So jumping at the heavy weapons man, having a little bit of a dance in the air, and MG gets forced, so unfortunate.
He went into spawn, he was so safe, and then he came out.
You can't really, Tesla is a really good soldier. You have to give him credit. So if it was a miscommunication there, it really cost him. As it looks like Alabaster's going to get forced up a lobby as well. And wow, fantastic from KL and Fez. Are they going to try to utilize this? Are they going to be able to do anything with it? And it looks like they're trying to go lobby. And no, both teams are on relatively even. Slight add to the Saharan Spies.
Yeah, and they're going to have a hard time pushing this with the Heavy and Fez now coming up. Matt will go down. Hawk and T3 have made a play for the point. They're going to crumble. Hawk getting 3 for himself. Went for the pickaxe kill onto MG, who had to go to the point. That was just, really good positioning there from Hawk. So much damage and 3 kills for himself to pick up the last. And White Noise, they are not slowing down on Gully here.
It's good to very objective focused, and like getting straight onto the point there meant that people had to push themselves into terrible positions. As it looks like people making their way into the middle. Crybaby getting an arrow and he's just like having a bit of a chill back, trying to work over the other people are. Hawk just sitting on the ground waiting for the prime opportunity. He jumps up, kills them, knocks MG, goes for a flying, does some dancy jumping, and he is taken out. So looks like White Noise are going to capitalize, like cap meet here. So
you've got both scouts alive. Ino will get out, doesn't get spotted. Fez, he's going to stay behind. I don't quite know what he's going for though. He's in river. Tesla's gonna jump out through choke, and Fez, he's gonna go for that kill, but unless he two-shot, he did two-shot him, but he still got put very low. But he's still so disconnected. White Noise at this point can and will likely look at pushing straight into last. They're going down river right now. KO comes in with the bomb. Okay, early use from Alabaster, I don't mind it, but it's gonna mean that Ino can get some very high impact in here on the Pyro. But you've got both scouts onto the point, the Pyro will die. MG's the only one there. MG's got to fight Matt. Fez comes in to help him here. T3 will leave, actually get cleaned up through the through river by the gun. So both scouts will die for their little adventure under the point, and that's going to net Saharan Spies a nice 35% Uber ad, and they're going to look at using that to push out here.
So I really like the fact that they actually decide to use utilities, especially the engineer class. Yeah. He's pretty good, and they play it in Highlander. So anyway, as it looks like they're just going to cap the point for free without having to use Uber. So excellent work to Saharan Spies. I'm interested to see how they go ahead and try to, push into middle here. So as it looks like the White Noise team are just taking the time to try to grind it. They've only got 20% ad, so maybe they're just going to wait and chill. So
yeah, but they've also decided on the sniper here. Matt coming up on the sniper in their own choke. Fez and MG, they've gotten into point for free, along with the rest of the team. They'll get this. Actually, they're going to try and contest it here with you. I don't know if that's a great decision. They will manage to get them off of the cap for now. But with the sniper, this fight is going to be great. Tesla goes down early. You've only got a single scout, this being T3. Hawk will die as well. No soldiers. One scout apiece for each team now. But it's going to end up being Saharan Spies taking that. And this does not favor White Noise at all. Sure, you've got the sniper, but no soldiers coming into second. The moment those sticks are pop, I would love to see Saharan Spies go straight through that choke as we have another pause coming in.
Yeah, so I thought that Uber into middle was a little bit ambitious and actually probably quite silly on account of the fact that both your soldiers were on 20-30% hit points, right, on the flank. So all I got to see to do is like try to bob into the middle point and get shot once or twice by these scouts from Saharan Spies, and that's not a great place to be when two of your players are immediately locked out of participating in the entire match. So and you can see that they've had to be forced back to second, as we see Sean looking like he's going to have a fun time. He's just chilling in the air, ready to land on poor Alabaster's head. Alabaster looking at his impending doom.
Yeah, I think this is surely going to be a pretty convincing fight, I think. But okay, I think Matt's going for the shot onto Sean. So whether or not this works, I think is going to rely on if Sean dies. If Sean dies to Matt here, which is the only player I think he's going to die to, KL needs to look forward at the choke, otherwise they'll lose anyway. If Sean dies to Matt on sniper, I think White Noise somehow miraculously win this by locking them in at choke. But if Sean lives, then Crybaby's coming in from Big Door as well. He'll bomb as well and probably go for Matt. I imagine if Sean doesn't die.
I'm just concerned about the sniper play. Like, I don't think it's right, man, because if you're playing sniper like in defense like this, you're basically playing a player down, especially because you've got two soldiers down already. That scout makes a huge difference, because if T3 gets picked to choke by the three people walking around, there's no way Alabaster can run away. Like, then he might end up in the best position ever. As we see Sean trying to get behind and missing the shot. There we go. So,
but they've gone back and gone to Big Door, which is in Matt's sightline. So KL, he'll go through, go up top, and die because he's alone. Like, this is just not good. Why are they going this way? They know Matt's there. They had multiple people spot him. They'll lose Crybaby deep in second, and MG just can't come in.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to make their way back to their second. So look, sniper play worked out that time, but yeah, I'm not sure why they went big door, or just didn't even go lowers straight away. Like if you went all the way into big door instead of just taking the lowers, then you can get closer to the sniper a lot quicker. But then you risk
or just continue choke. You know, like you're somewhat hidden at choke by the fact that there's a giant sheet of metal on the point. We've got even Ubers coming up here. Matt still on the sniper. At this point, I'd almost like to see him just go for the hero shot. You know, try and make something happen, but die is the end goal. But he's just going to stay on sniper. He's going to solo hold big door. I guess that's like the best he can do at this point.
Well, the other thing as well is that the impetus is actually on Saharan Spies to win this map, right? So they've already got a 2-score advantage in 22 minutes left, right? And they've won a map. So Matt can just get away playing sniper for fun because he can, right? The other team has to go and do something about it. It's not like there used to be a big problem back in the day where people just total forever because they got score advantage, right? But I'm hoping that hasn't re-emerged, but it looks like we got Aino getting picked on the flank, so Sniper's going to get a lot more freedom to take shots here. So they're just holding in really bad position here, MG and like Crybaby, like because Matt's getting some shots off at the choke there.
Yeah, and you've got T3 is behind. He's up top fighting Sean. They'll trade with each other, but look at Matt. He's so far out here.
It's like, I like how he stands on that little control point so he can get a little bit more, like, you know, sight. And he falls off. Ah, poor Matt. So, but, yeah, there he goes. Finally, he has passed away. Rest in peace, Sniper.
And the thing is, I don't even think Saharan Spies can necessarily push off of this because it's just the sniper that they lost. KL will still jump through choke. They'll get the force. KL won't get saved though. And that's what they were looking for. They wanted that pocket soldier trade. They'll end up trading it on the scout. White Noise end up having the better Uber somehow despite getting forced first. Really nice arrow from NG coming out, saving hips. MG's found himself on low ground though. He'll die to the spam rocket from Tesla. Tesla will claim a second with the pickaxe. Fez will die as the third, and I think final in the fight. Everyone else on Saharan Spies will back out. And that's a pretty large Uber advantage. I'd be shocked if they didn't push it right away. T3 is already in under. Hipster down in 3. You've got the players coming in. T3 behind the point, fighting Sean will kill him, and he will play the point with Tesla now. They will lock the people out, force them all to the point. Matt coming in, actually on the low ground. This isn't too bad. They get a wipe on Saharan Spies, so a bit eager for that third round, White Noise were, and I think Saharan Spies, they need to make the most out of this. You need to convert this into a round.
Yeah, they beasted it. They just won a deathmatch, like, well and truly. So it was just really good play from the Saharan Spies there. So as they look like they make their way into middle, they don't have a soldier or demo with them, which is a little bit questionable, but maybe they're just going to grind the Uber advantage up here. So
yeah, I don't mind either way. I don't mind them taking it fast. I don't mind them playing the Uber advantage. So they just, surely at this point they know that Matt's going to play sniper. They go on big door. It's the best spot to counter it because he's got to play in no man's land to be able to see anything. And I think they've seen him. KL jumps high, gets middied by one of the soldiers. They both took the shot at it. But oh my god, headshot coming out onto Hipster. Alabaster actually gets caught in. The Uber will come out, but it's not as bad since Alabaster died. MG, I think he wanted to try and pick up the medigun, but I don't think he could because of his Uber or something stopped him. But he decided to pick it up anyway. Nothing changes. Matt will get found very early, have to surf away and land right in front of Aino. He will die. But MG dies to the bomb in from Hawk. Hawk will trade. Tesla dies as well. Player disadvantage to White Noise, but they'll be happy to keep their medic up. But he's not healing. He spent 16 seconds not healing, so that's a good 30% that he doesn't have anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, but I guess like if you don't know where your players are, it's going to be kind of hard. So that's why you have to have a bind that just like swaps your auto call percentage to 150%, so you can see everyone is at all points of time. So, but anyway, looks like Saharan Spies are going to be. I don't think that White Noise are going to be pushing this. It's just too much risk to push out of it, even with the Uber advantage. So, and yeah, Saharan Spies just chilling, grinding Uber choke.
Yeah, I mean it's going to end up being even. Doesn't matter how well either team grinds. I think Saharan Spies even, they might think they're at massive disadvantage. You know, like that happens a lot when you've got a medic who just like doesn't find his players for a while. You'll see one team kind of play super passive compared to the other one. when they just don't know. They'll get the Uber and make a slight push forward as they think it's evens, but they ended up actually getting ad. That was some really being a medic main, I love myself some good grinding, and that was some nice grinding from MG. Just really quick Uber coming up. Makes me happy.
So it looks like they're going to spam the sentry. Really, really well played. So that's one of the key defenses down on the by White Noise. So he's going to swap the scout now because he's not going to get back up in time. As Adolo manages to pick Ino, so that means the push is going to happen again. So both scouts, Heavy swapped off, and it looks like they're going to use this advantage to try to push out. So
yeah, T3, he's keen. He's walking forward, taking the beat. Sean will spot him forward. They will know that they're trying to get aggressive, and they're going to play this high ground. Hawk, huge bomb. Oh, MG popped like a second and a half after he died. Like after Hawk died. No reason at all for him to pop there. And he's going to get caught on the wrong side. KL will fight Matt on last, lose the fight. Fez will go in for something onto Alabaster. But Alabaster, he's got a whole team in front of him and he is in no danger at all. Man, I feel so bad for MG there.
Yeah, he just got completely caught out of position. I think that this was a call. Go to last, no comeback. Go to last, no comeback. We've got Uber Disad and people coming. And because of that, just kind of sitting there hesitating. Right, if you got two responses, right? It's fight or flight, but there's a third one called freeze. And a lot of players, when you don't really know what to do, just sit there thinking like deer in the headlight and freezing, right? So that's what happened for MG. So.
Oh no, they've gotten in the mid. They've gotten in the mid to drop down. They spotted them just in time, but every single player on Saharan Spies was looking at the at either upper choke or big door. So they do well to keep MG alive there. They're still at the 50% disadvantage. Sorry to interrupt you there, Cole, but
no, go ahead.
Let's click in.
As it looks like they're making their way around choke here. So MG still doesn't have Uber yet at 75%. Does the medic get forced? No, Alabaster manages to keep his Uber charge on 70 health. And it looks like they were running all the way to last. Both teams are being very aggressive. So, so MG on 100%, but not using it just in time. So poor guy.
Yeah, the Uber's coming in. They'll play the point, but it doesn't really matter. 2v5 with the heals up. Sean and, Crybaby, they'll get some kills. But again, White Noise, they're just in control. Like, I don't see them dropping rounds. Like, Saharan Spies have had several opportunities over the past few maps to win rounds. But they just don't seem to want to do it. Mid's up, both Demomen pretty healthy, putting that spam onto the big door. Alabaster getting put quite low again. Dropping down to 80 himself. He will actually sit pretty passive, and that's going to let his players get quite low. The bomb will try to come in. MG surfed to the other team's side for some reason. Hawk below the point, very low, as is Sean, but Matt will clean up that kill. Ino will die the Matt as well, doing that clean up for his team. Another mid survived by Alabaster.
I know, he's a magician. So.
He's on a roll.
He's doing really well this time. So, but what's happening here is that he's just like experience from like Matt and Adolo and like Red Hawk as well, who used to be a Prem medic. So I think that they're just very used to understanding the roles and responsibilities of every player, like, to a T, and because of that, they just don't try to do things that's not their job, right? So they stay on their medic as a pocket scout. The demo manages to do damage when he needs to the right targets, and I'm just seeing a lot of like questionable decisions from people who are on the Saharan Spies side. So, and I don't know whether that's because they're a team folk with a lot of death matches or they lack experience, but that's just how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, Uber coming in, the heavy will go down fairly quickly. The gun will just die. Matt will actually die in the Uber. We've got even players here. KL going low on the point. T3 will clean that up, and he's bringing people behind the point. Hipster's in a 1v3 in fun. He will get a kill onto Alabaster. Hawk will die on the point. T3 will as well to MG. We've got MG versus Adolo here. Adolo, who'll get put very low, won't end up getting the kill onto MG here, I think. Nice pipe to finish things up, but he'll live. The pretty much 100% Uber advantage. You've got Matt coming up on the sniper though. MG, he needs to go through. They know Matt's there, so he won't have any opportunity for the kill, and Sean will get nice surf from Matt though to get away. Second will be claimed by Saharan Spies, and again, they're in a position they need to get a move on, but will they?
I know there's only 13 minutes left on the clock, and they're going to make a score deficit of 4 points. And if it takes about 3 minutes per round, if you're rolling teams, this is going to be tight, man. So we'll see how they go.
Oh, they get forced. They're in. They need to get Alabaster here, and they can. Like, Fez is actually in a pretty good spot there. Adolo will get caught out. Adolo not in a position to get a kill onto MG. but Matt, I heard a headshot ring out onto someone, I think it was Sean, but they actually completely wiped them, and they get players in the forward spawn, so that just kills a little bit of time, but it doesn't matter because they're off-classing anyway. At least T3 is on the engineer again. So this might be the time. They've got 40% Uber. They're in a good position. They should know these off classes. They're not in like a even Uber situation here where they'll have to fight, you know, shiny players. None of that. They have every advantage they could possibly want, except maybe a player advantage. If they can't clean this one up, I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do going forward.
Yep, I really like the sentry gun positioning from T3 on the bottom right of the point there as well. It's really difficult to spam it, even from like the center area. You can't spam it because there's a pillar in the way, and it directly looks at the point. So, as it looks like the Uber's coming in, they didn't spot the sentry guns. They're only just able to take it. Hawk gets taken down. The heavy gets taken down. It's the first thing that we've been able to see both utilities pass away, and there we go, round done. Congratulations, Saharan Spies, in your first round. So.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they wanted, right? They came in, dealt with both of the utils pretty quickly, trading the heavy for the scout at the end, but that's what you want. If you lose both utils for one player, you're happy with that on the side of Saharan Spies, as we do have our 5th mid underway. And actually, Saharan Spies, they've opted to go for the other side. Fez will die, but that's a trade for $1. They'll be loving that one. KL on the high ground will get a shot onto Tesla. Hipster living as well. And T3 Alabaster, they're in a good spot. They're backing, but they've gone right into Sean. Alabaster will die. T3 will live. And he's kind of stuck in a weird spot right now. He can hear Sean jumping around, but just can't quite find him. As Sean will get out alive, and the early spawn on MG, he's going to be quite happy.
It's just the beginning of the comeback. Are they going to do it? Is it going to happen?
I'm excited for it.
I am excited as well.
They're another 40% ad, so...
Well, we'll see if they manage to take down both utilities again. Because it looks like we've got a heavy and engineer. Are we using in the same positions as before? No, the heavy's on... No, they're still doing the sentry gun in the same position, keeping it at level 2. So, as it looks like they're getting ready to climb and go river again. So...
Ooh, the thing is, the last time they went through shutter. So
yeah, true. That's a good point.
If the gun stays in this position, I don't mind. Or if they push while the gun's being moved. And that's the thing, is that right now the gun's not being moved, so they've scouted that information, they've got the push that they want, they're going straight through shutter again, and because everything's in the same spot, all of Hipster's damage is meaningful. The heavy's quite low, and Hipster's going to clean up both off classes. He will die in the post fight, but no one has health on the side of Saharan Spies. Hawk, Adolo, both very low on their left side. T3 actually getting kills here. I know, he's got to be careful. He put himself in a position to give the enemy players a lot of room. MG will die very, very late. But oh my god, I know, he's gotten 2. He's in a position where he could do it. T3, he's on the spawn. Will get in there, and Matt will actually destroy I know as well. Good push. Just got unlucky with the positions there. The 1v1 at the end, really, T3 v I know. I think it's just unfortunate. Alabaster's trying to come out through the shutter to meet with his team. He will get... Oh, actually, no. Nothing's happening to Alabaster. It's all happening to Crybaby. The double soldiers are coming in, trying to get something onto Alabaster. KL4's a bit short, though. Will end up fighting Tesla on the point. If they both manage to get to Alabaster there, it would have been a pick. And I honestly don't mind losing 3 at that point to secure yourself the Uber advantage, because you're losing mid here regardless of how many players you lose. Tesla will die early, high bomb from KL. He'll end up dying nothing anyway, landing on the low ground. And that's just going to end up being a soldier trade. They'll cap mid and shouldn't push this with the Uber though.
Man, there's more explosions than Mad Max in that situation. There's rockets and pipes flying for a good 2 minutes there, so it just kept fighting. So I love this. It's just going constant. There's no boring gameplay here, guys, on TF Live.
Definitely not. Uber's coming in. Alabaster uses early. MG will use... Actually, Alabaster, he gets knocked sky high. We'll just killbind up there. He's not going to let anyone midi him. KL needs an arrow really bad. He'll get it. They will crunch onto T3. He's in. He's dead. And with that 2-player advantage being kind of the main 2 players that we've been seeing here, T3 leading a lot of these pushes, obviously the med being fairly important in this game, that's going to lead to Saharan Spies taking this point without losing a single player. And again, what is it with Saharan Spies and 40% Uber advantages? They've netted themselves another one in a position where they may be able to take second, but with everyone being up on the side of white noise, they may think again.
Well, you were saying earlier that, like, the Demoman Crybaby has actually been quite a force to be reckoned with on Gullywash, and it seems like he's like making a big difference this time around. So excited to see the Uber get taken around a choke on him. So
yeah, the thing is, they need to deal with both of these soldiers. Double soldiers here. Kale's jump through. He'll see that the two soldiers are here, and that's going to make the room. Pipe does come on the Tesla, will lead to him getting killed. KL will die to Matt, but that's going to be both soldiers. Absolutely no pressure coming out from White Noise, and they're going to leave Ino to cap, as they should. And they're looking to take this in. They need to be hasty. Alabaster's on 90. They're already in with the Uber. If they can get him to force him to spawn here, this is going to be really good. But Alabaster, he just gets in time. His scouts stay close enough to get the Uber. Fez will stay in last. He will actually kill a dollar. That's really good. And live. What? Fez! And they get another one onto Hawk and the medic as well. Alabaster, what are you doing in lobby? No one on White Noise is on last. You've got two players, both soldiers coming in from Saharan Spies. They'll block everyone from the point and get themselves a second round as I am spitting all over my monitor, Cole.
T3 was very hungry. He wanted to get some juicy frags, went up behind him and then realized that this is not a game about frags, it's about control points. And unfortunately, he got there a bit late. So it looks like he's going to make his way to middle. That's man 3-2. It's getting there. It could be a tie.
Yeah, with 6 minutes left, a lot of damage coming out onto Alabaster again, but Hawk, he's doing something different this time. He's playing in the drop down. KL, he's bonked his head on the light. Both players coming in. KL will die on the low ground, but again, Hawk from the back. He'll get MG. He'll get Crybaby. Fez and Ino will die to the rest of his team. Sean will fall at the end, and that's a very clean mid coming out from White Noise. One that you would imagine, with the way that they're playing, turns into a fairly quick round. Again, pulling everything away from Saharan Spies that they've spent the past 10 minutes trying to build up.
Yeah, that's I'm not sure. I didn't really get to see what happened in that middle and why people managed to get like destroyed that quickly, because I was keeping an eye on the scout perspective and he was just like chilling, just doing a little bit of damage.
It was pretty much Hawk went under and just got up, dropped down, completely unseen. He pounded from behind. As we're going to have White Noise taking a bit of a different approach this time, coming from the side with the Uber through river. The gun has not been dealt with at all. Adola will put himself into a position to deal with. The heavies on the point actually getting a lot done here, but they're in spawn and they're capping. So, that helps. They're
Yikes.
lose. Yeah.
4-2, it's not good, guys. We want to have a close game. We want it to be, so we're going to have to see if, White Noise can, unfortunately, get it to 5. But what I really want to see Saharan Spies bring it back and get 2 more rounds. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, we're at the point that it looks like they're going for the aggressive mid again. Sean going for the aggressive bomb. They'll get some damage on the T3, but Sean, he'll end up dying to the scout. KL as well. Both soldiers going down very early. Tesla will die, looks like Hawk will as well. Both soldiers down on each team. Fez will die on Saharan Spies. MG will get sniped by Matt, actually, as that's going to be another fairly clean mid, keeping the mid alive. And Alabaster, Ino will live, but, he's not doing anything. Alabaster, he's even walked around with the crossbow. But Alabaster is, his hubris has gotten the better of him. He's died. Went out first. They was the only player that Ino saw. And he'll claim that juicy medic frag. It's an in.
Unfortunately, Alabaster was not particularly good at practicing social distancing in that situation and got taken down. So.
But neither is MG, as Hawk has landed right on top of him, popped him up, and destroyed him in the air. So any advantage that Saharan Spies had has been completely nullified. And White Noise, they are going to be looking for their 5th. It's not going to be massive Uber advantage coming out from Alabaster, as he did again have a little bit of a journey before he met any of his players to heal. But Saharan Spies don't know that, and even with that, Alabaster, he will end up building a good bit faster because he has a scout. Meanwhile, Ino's come up on scout. It looks like he's opted to not build. Actually, both scouts have come up. They've decided they're going for the win here. They're pushing out dry. Alabaster's sitting close here, but the players are in. T3's in. He'll trade Fez's life for Tesla. Matt's in lowers. Hipsters went in alone under. Done some pretty good damage. KL will fail to clean anything up though. MG will go under, get one saw onto Alabaster, but nothing else. But it doesn't matter. T3's gone under. And, T3 just went under.
Look, I think that the decision made by the Saharan Spies there was the correct decision.
Yeah.
And as MG says, there's 3 minutes left on the clock. They just have to freaking go. If you sit there just waiting for Ubers instead of just like going there and saying, fuck it, we're just going to win all the death matches, you're going to lose the war of attrition. And no one wants to sit there and do nothing. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them, so it looks like it's going to be a 5-2.
It looks like it, unless White Noise want to pull out any more clean mids, which they may well do. KL and MG will die, but both soldiers on the side of White Noise will go down. Fez, I know, cleaning up some kills for themselves. Adolo going down as well. Fez will get killed by both scouts, and Alabaster will even get a saw. So they're going to have Uber going into second, so I think they may even... They could try and mercy rule this still. They could get this. They can get this round in the next minute, and if they roll another one, we could see a 7-2. It's still not impossible.
It's definitely not impossible to win 7-2. We'll see how it goes, but you know, it would not be good for the morale of Saharan Spies. Like we do not want to see that happen.
No, but at the same time, you know, I mean, you want action. You don't want 2 minutes of sitting there padding. So you want points. You want points being capped and players being Uber. And White Noise are looking to deliver. They're gathering their players, getting everyone nice and healthy going in. T3 looking to lead this Uber. They've spotted the stickies. They've been dead. And they're just going to walk right into this pyro. Alabaster high in the sky. Sean will die to a Dolo early. But T3 will die to stickies as well. Stickies reigning supreme in this last point. But Tesla, he's gone on to the point. One pipe will come out from Crybaby, kill him. More pipes coming out from Adolo, though, will kill the gun. Players will go on to Hipster, but die from some very nice pipes. Really, he's playing so well tonight, Hipster. I feel bad for him. Like, he's putting up really good numbers, hitting some really good shots. The Uber will come out from MG on to Fez. Fez will just go through and get the medical. Pad the stats, why not?
May as well. I think it was just what I really don't like that sentry gun position at last. It doesn't look at the point, so that meant the Tesla could get that much cap time without honestly doing the sentry doing anything. And the sentry should be, at the very least, pushing people and forcing Ubers or achieving something, right? As it looks like people are just deathmatching on second because there's 40 seconds left to get your logs.tf stats up, right? You want to win, right?
Need the damage. You need to get put as one of the top high players on Sean's website. You know, that's what they're going for here. Pad the stats as high as you can, so that way you're put above your other teammates.
It looks like everybody's going all the utilities at last point. We've got the priority engineer to heavy. Now we just need the demo to go sniper and we're good, right? So.
But, yeah, White Noise. Oh, wait, will it be 6-2? Hold up. 6-2? Maybe. Yep, 6-2. I don't know how Matt didn't die there, being in front of like 3 players, but they'll clean it up. They'll get their 6. And that's going to be White Noise.
Beautiful crossbow shots from Alabaster, I'm saying, as he immediately disconnects from the server as soon as it's over. He's just like, I'm done, stop bombing me. I won this, so...
Please, I need a break from mids. Even though he did get a bit of a break at the end. You know, his the last few mids he actually managed to survive on. So, I mean, that's good. I don't know if that's because his team got better at protecting him or if Saharan Spies kind of diverted their attention. Because there were a few like flawless mids there on the side of White Noise towards the end, but let's take a look at logs. T3, he fragged hard. He went 38-10. He had the least amount of deaths on the server, even dying less than his own medic. That's insane.
Yeah, that's just incredible gameplay. The dude's a freaking machine, you know, just like click, click, kill, easy peasy. So, yeah. And he did like an insane amount of damage, 291 DPM, and his accuracy is at 70%, which is really high for a scout player because I'd expect like scouts in Prem to be hitting like 75% accuracy. So, like for a high player, 70% is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, even the other scouts as well. I mean, Matt 72%, I know 70%, Fez 63, kind of more where you'd expect it to be around. So I mean, all of the scouts playing really well, but also I just like, you could tell he was having high impact in the game, but again, just Hipster, 333 damage a minute, breaking 10k damage, only player to do it on this map. Like, I just think that Saharan Spies, they did better on this map because they played more around Hipster. And I don't know if that's because they know it's a better map for him and they just decided to play this one more around him. Maybe he's not as comfortable on Logjam, but they played around him and it worked. They were in control for more of this game than Logjam, and they actually got rounds. They got 2 in a row to look at making a good comeback, but kind of, White Noise stomped that out the moment any hopes were brought up. But I don't know. I think Saharan Spies, they need to look at this and really kind of think going forward what they need to do to win some of their last games.
Like, some of the things I could quite clearly identify was that that's just Adolo and Matt's experience was really, really paying off. Because all of the pushes from White Noise were not scrappy, they were executed very well. People understood their roles and people didn't die in them stupidly early on, or they just stay alive, right? Yeah. Whereas I got to see people get picked early in fights. It was very rushed. I understand that people playing at a very high level and they're, making mistakes because there's a lot of pressure when you're playing against, just adversaries of such capability. So you're going to make mistakes because you're scared. You're you're a bit stressed. You're not really sure. So and that's what these high pressure situations force in people. And yeah, I also saw a couple of situations where I'm not sure again who the pocket scout is for the Saharan Spies, because MG was left alone so much. It shouldn't have happened. So
yeah, it's meant to be Fez for them.
Yeah, so Fez played a really good game. He went 26 for 22, which is it's really good for a 6-2 role, right? Keeping a positive KD that high, but at the same time, I feel like MG was left alone on both maps quite a lot. So maybe he's got to play a little bit closer to the medic. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Look, I mean, there were definitely a lot of opportunities where MG was left alone. But the thing is, a lot of the times you will kind of put it on your scout to be with the medic in that situation, but there are times where he should have a different player with him, right? I think his team kind of might all be under the assumption that my scout and my demo man in the combo can go forward, be aggressive, and my pocket will be there, because that kind of seems to be the way they want to play. These guys, at least in high, are trading on their pockets. It seems like a lot more than other teams. They are playing they're playing a style from 6-7 years ago, and it's just it seems like almost everyone on the team but their pocket is under that assumption, because everyone's going really aggressive as if you were having that pocket walk around with your med, just staying 300 the entire time ready to pounce on someone. But then the pocket's also doing what modern pockets are doing, where he's jumping around getting very aggressive. And there are times where the scout and demo are in the right spot to be healed by their med, but then there are other times where they're going really aggressive and their med's just left in no man's land. Again, I feel like I've said that so much tonight. No man's land. He's just being left alone in the middle of his in the middle of his team. Everyone's an equal distance away from him, but that equal distance is way too much.
I don't want to say anything bad about Kale, but if he's going to be playing the pocket soldier role, he should be at least considering to use shotgun on last point. So just get that extra damage in if you're going to take the majority of the Uber. At the very least on this map, the heals did seem a lot more evenly focused. For MG, they're focused on Fez and Crybaby. So yeah.
Yeah, look, with that, I think definitely congratulations to White Noise. I think that's them staying at the top of high. I think, is that there? Oh no, they will end up being tied for second. Brain Cells being the only team this season to not lose a map. These guys did lose one in week 1, so they'll be tied second, but at this point, they're putting themselves in a really good position to kind of secure their spot in playoffs, but they have their harder games coming up. They'll be playing Brain Cells next week, Samsung Tablet the week after, and then Cheese Wheel. That's 1 versus 2 seed in week 7. So they're gonna have to win more of their games like this if they want to secure their spot in playoffs. And with the performance tonight, I think they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that both teams played quite well, but just looking for a little bit more execution for Saharan Spies in the future. But anyway, hey guys, so thank you all for joining a TF Live TV cast. I think you'll hopefully see a few more over the next couple of months.
Yeah, it's what we're hoping. We're looking to get a few casts a week in, and if we have games that are going to be at the same time, make sure that you follow TF Live TV 2. It's this channel with a number 2 at the end, because if we have casts running at the same time, the other one will be over on that channel. So definitely give it a follow. I'm Michael, joined by Cole. Connor, as always, on production. Can't praise this man enough. That's us for tonight and for this week. Keep an eye out for games next week. Have a good one.